Okay, let's see if that's better, Hillary. Let's see if I can get you on the call this way. It'd be a small square at the top, unfortunately, but it might be the only way we do it. Okay, so let's see if you guys can do it. Okay, let me see. All right. I can't bring you in, Hillary. For some reason, it says I can't bring you in. No, I don't know why. Are you using an iPhone? No, I'm not able to bring you in. Oh my goodness gracious. We may have to figure this out and have you come. Let me see, tap. Nope, it says can't bring Hillary on camera at this time. They can't join your broadcast at this time. I'm not sure why. So what we'll have to do, Hillary, is in order to give everybody the opportunity to listen to what you have to offer, we're going to bring you in on the Coffee with Kathy call, I guess, on Saturday. I don't know what else to do because I don't know why. Up there we go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, what did you do different? Oh my God. Hillary,
Okay.
what did you?
I had to switch to my phone.
Yeah, what did you do different?
Hold on, I'm shutting off my computer. Bear with me a second.
Yeah, oh no, Hillary, we can't do joint calls on a computer.
Okay, that would be the problem.
Yes, it is that feature. So I'm going to keep it as is. I wanted to split screen us, but we can't.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep you as the small screen. I apologize because I really wanted them to see you evenly.
No, it's
But
fine.
you can't bring anybody in on a computer. You can
Good to
do
know.
Facebook Live, but yeah. So okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, so let's go ahead and get started on today's call. And one of the things the reason I brought Hillary into the call is because she's got a very strong in-home party plan business. In fact, Hillary, you just promoted to director. How many people do you have on your team now?
Right now, 7.
You have 7, and you've been with Lemongrass Spa how long?
I just hit my 8th month.
So in 8 months, yeah. And so again, I know she gets her bookings from her parties. She gets her recruits from her parties. So I wanted her to come and share what she does with her bookings. But before we turn it over to her, I just want to share a couple notes that I had made for this call, and then we'll have her share. And then the second part of the call will be about recruiting. And if we have to finish that up with questions and things like that, we can certainly do that. But let me just start out saying, if you're struggling with bookings, I want you to ask yourself, how are you feeling about people booking with you? I mean, do you feel awkward? Do you feel pushy? Because if you guys are feeling in this way whatsoever, that's the energy that you're passing on at your parties. Really, anytime that you talk about what we offer other individuals that get a group of friends together. I really don't like to say what we offer when people book with us. People choose us. They hire us. They want their friends to experience a theme, our products. It's all the language. It's the magic words we talk about. So you've got to get comfortable with that. You've got to, figure out what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, practice it, feel it. And I also want you to get comfortable with the host plan, because we have one of the most generous in the market. So if you are, getting bookings, getting these new hosts, getting the experience to be invited into somebody else's home, you should feel like you are spoiling that person, that you want to be proud of that. You should feel confident that you are blessing that host. Now, people book for fun. So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. When you describe what we offer, oh my gosh, we're doing 30-minute facials next month. You should think about grabbing a few of your friends. Let me come in. Let's do a facial with everybody. I mean, that's fun. They visualize a facial. And you could even then add on and say, I bring cute little hairbands and everybody leaves with that hairband because I teach them they got to use a hairband to wash their face. I mean, that's the commercial. So if you're having trouble with bookings when you're talking to somebody even out and about, you need to rethink, what is the fun? What are you offering them? And themes have to be it. You can't say, would you like to party? You seem to love the products. Would you like to give them a discount? Because that's about one person and it's about the host. And you really need to draw her circle that what her friends are going to experience. So I have to tell you, the mission of the company, which is always a little bit different from me because I come from another company, the mission of the company speaks fun. It speaks themes. It speaks hands-on experiences. It speaks what people are doing at the time they're there. It doesn't speak booking. It doesn't speak dates on the calendar. I mean, I always say at my parties, oh my gosh, why wouldn't everybody here want to do something like this with their friends? I'll make sure you have an opportunity to look at my calendar before you leave. You know, why wouldn't everybody? So think to yourself, why wouldn't they? So when you think about what you offer, you want to ask yourself, what do I want to give these new customers? Because they're all new customers of yours. So when you come from that place, when you come from passion, people are going to love that. When you're at a party and you get to know your host, you know, that's a point where you have started that connection. We talked about that before. We talked about it with host coaching and that host class that I did for you guys. We talked about with the very first call I did with the connection. I mean, think about that. You get to meet her kids, you get to meet her husband. And then when people come to the door, oh my goodness, it's part of such a great fun experience. How excited are you for that? I mean, one of the things that I want to make sure you guys know, as far as being a roving reporter, is you're always finding out from the host who's coming. I mean, she gets a feel when you ask these questions, she knows that you care about these people. And that's why I taught you about the connecting questions, because if people are surprised that you're the consultant when you start the demonstration or the hands-on, whatever you're doing, if they are surprised that you are the consultant, you've done your job. Oh, I didn't know you were the consultant. So again, we should just want to hang out and get to know new people. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we should do. That's our goal when we decide to offer this opportunity to others. And yes, the side bonus is we get to sell products, but it's really about hanging out with other people. And that comes in your recruiting commercial also. There are some women out there who are empty nesters. They feel lonely. Maybe they have vomit on their shirt because they're home all day with a little one. These are the individuals that want to know that they can hang out and get paid and have fun, right? When you come from this place, guys, it is big. It's the critical part of really what we call reading your audience and making connections. So we're going to talk about seeds, but I want to make sure you guys understand these seeds can't happen until you've made the connection. And that's why that first call about connection was so important, because again, you want them to like you and to hire you, and it doesn't come with how much you know about the products. Relationships, they hire you because of you, they join you because of you, they book you, they do sell because of you. So again, the seeds have to start later after the connection. This business is all about people connecting and getting to like you and not feel like, oh, she just wants us to buy. No, you want to change lives and you have the product line to do it. So let's talk about seeds, because, you know, I really think anytime you talk about our 30-minute facial, you've planted a seed. That is a seed, right? And when you have a product like my favorite product, no question about it, you guys already know my favorite product is this, is the skincare system. Because I believe, coming from another company, not taking care of my skin, well, I did, but not knowing that I wasn't taking care of my skin, I thought brand name meant that I was doing a good job. So now I go back and I teach the basics, because I know if you start with a really great skincare system, that you will have less need for concealer and for, you know, anti-aging because you're taking care of this and it's the only one you have. So again, when I talk about my favorite product, I always say everybody loves it. And when you schedule a facial next month, you're going to choose one of these columns and I'll help you choose which one at 50% off. And then you break it down into what that price is, or you get it free. Because again, remember, you should be passionate about that host rewards. They get a lot of shopping money, and I'm going to call it shopping money because that's what everybody gets. They get shopping money that they can use on their personal shopping. That's our commercial for our host rewards. So again, you want to have fun, you want to be meeting people, you want to say, you guys are such a great group. I can't wait to meet you and your friends at your event. There's a booking seed. And listen, guys, you'll want to do 3x5 cards and have at least 3 seeds that you plant around your products that will remind you. You visually see that card and remind you to say something. Now, this whole thing about you guys are a fun group, you want to do that when there's laughter, when there's engagement. You'll know when to do it, but you've got to remember a laugh means a seed. And you also want to watch the room because there's a turning point where they're connecting with you, where they're not sitting here like this anymore or looking bored or looking at their watch. And you know that a product that you are passionate about, and it has to be a product that they would normally not want to pay full price if they had a choice. So again, my product is always the last 2 columns here, unless I'm offering teen classes. These are my 2 favorite products in our collection. Even 2 years later, it's my favorite product is this. So I always say after I get into the idea about, you know, starting every day with a face forward, I always say, listen, okay, guys, I know you're falling in love with this product. I can see it. I remember being where you are right now. I was thinking, really? Does a face care system really? Do you have to have a system? Because I was buying from L'Oreal and from Clinique, from all other. I didn't realize that choosing the same product from the same product line means they're working together. They were designed to partner with each other. And I was skeptical. And then I thought, oh my gosh, this is really cool. And then you go into, if you guys want tons of stuff for free, we have an amazing host plan. And then, now again, this is later on as you're connecting with them. And then what you want to do is you want to take them to the centerfold. Yes, I said centerfold. And I know for some of you are thinking, oh, that sounds like something that wasn't really good. But guess what? Every company in direct sales takes the center part of their catalog and it just opens very normally to that center. And that's where they feature what they want their consultants to focus on. So ours is our host rewards. Now, when you get here, you do not want to sit there and read. What I love is Glennie just recreated that menu for us. And I always recommend that you staple it here. I'll send this in the Coffee with Kathy group as a file. I wanted not to share it before. I got to share it here. But it's our winter menu. And you get to say, by the way, in addition to having shopping cash, half price items up to 4, you also get to choose a theme that rings and resonates with you for your friends. And because they know you have chosen this with them in mind, you're going to have standing room only. So again, you've got to take a minute and talk about the amazing host plan along with the themes that you're offering. You know, at times I think we are so scared that we don't know enough about the products and we're just worried we're not going to get sales. Well, let me tell you something, guys. You know more than anybody else in that room because you're a consultant. And I always say, talk about the benefits, not the features. But what if somebody says, you know, what are parabens? You say, you know what, that's a great question. Why don't I do this? I'll go ahead and give you all the details about it and we'll share it. Would that be okay? And so you offer to go back and circle back and listen, your host is going to love the fact that you're going to circle back in her Facebook group that she, or the event that she created and say, Mary had a, and you tag the customer and you tag the host. She had a question about parabens. Here's what you want to know. Or you can even take them to that chart in the catalog that say, you know what, we do have a chart for that, but I'd love to be able to share even more information. So I will post that in the group, the event that we created. You know, would you mind making a note, and I'll make sure to give you credit for that question. So again, don't feel like you have to know the answer, and don't wing it. Just graciously say, oh my gosh, that is such a great question. Why don't we do this? Or how about if I do this, right? So again, you want to make sure that you are looking through the lens of booking and recruiting at this party, because those catalogs will sell the products for you when you add your excitement to the products that are your booking products. You should always, guys, go into every party, virtual or in-home, looking for bookings. Any incentives you decide to tie to your business should be tied to the needs you have at that time. So yes, there are booking incentives by the company, but you could always offer your own. And I asked Hillary to be able to share what she does. So think about it. If you need bookings, you do a booking incentive. If you need recruits, you do an recruiting incentive. Do you need more more attendance? Well, then do an incentive. Remember, 10 buying guests. Do you need to start on time? Do you find that your parties always start late? Do an on-time incentive. So, and by the way, you never want to start your incentives in the beginning, because again, it's that connection you're making. People are starting to like you. They're starting to identify with you. And then when you offer something, they are adding more thought to what they already know about you. So again, sometimes you want those incentives. You want to think ahead of time. Think about what gets you the most excited. You know, what's in a collection, guys, that you love that you may want to add to it, right? And that would be a great sales incentive. If you want higher sales, add to something that's already in that collection. You know, again, think about strategically how you're doing that. What you talk about, guys, are what you sell. And that's why the products that you choose for bookings are so important. So pay attention to what you talk about. If you're passionate, then you're going to say, oh my goodness, this is our favorite special offer, or they're my favorite product, and more of those that own it get it without paying for it, because they decide to get it as some of with their shopping cash when they get their friends together. You'll get this free at your event with your friends. The first 3 of you that date a calendar. I have 3 spots next month, and it's early on in the month, so you choose one of the 3 spots, and that's the price of this. So you guys can wrap that conversation around, but the product is going to want to take front and center, and you have to be passionate about that product. Now, I know some of you, and I asked Hillary before she came on the call, are you going to be sharing about games? And she does do games at her parties, and I'm going to give her permission to share in our event here. But I have to tell you, it's not that I'm against parties, but games. I am not a game girl. It's not my style. I have tried them, and I want you to try them. Honestly, I have learned by trying them, the games I'm not authentic. And I need to be authentic. I need to be myself. People will read you. You guys know, I'm more of a serious teacher type of instructor consultant than a game player. Now, with that being said, games are brilliant. So Google party games, and Hillary can share in the group. She's going to share in our event what ones that she's played in the past. Again, I'm not saying don't do them. You know, one of the things that somebody recently shared with me, and I don't know, Hillary, if you've tried this, and you don't have to nod one way or another, but they said we stack the host. And I said, what is stacking the host? This is brand new for me. They said we put our host up there, up front, and we put stickies all over her with all the things that she could get free because she's a host. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my host would never stand for that, because my hosts are like me, or I'm going to assume they're like me. They don't want their friends coming to buy thinking if you buy, I benefit. Everybody knows that she does, but I don't want to broadcast that. I don't want to make her uncomfortable. So one of the things that I decided to do along that line is I'm going to do stack the table. So I'm going to go ahead and have products, a typical party with Lemongrass Spa, and I'm going to stack the table with the products that I have, showing what they could earn free, and then show the bigger price items saying this is what you get with 50% because you get up to 4. So I'll do a stack the table, but I will never do stack the host. So again, these are at least, you know, some of the things you guys need to be thinking about. You need to have at least 3 moments of time where you plant seeds. And you also, again, going back to that connection, when you listen to somebody say, you know, we just hired a painter, and I'm like, oh, now this is a connection before we start. Oh my goodness, what are you painting? Well, we're redoing a room. Really? What room? We're redoing our bonus room. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. Are you getting new furniture? Blah, blah. And they open up and they want to tell you everything. Well, don't you know, at that time, I'm going to say, remind me of your name. Oh my goodness, we should show off that bonus room that you're remodeling. I bet your friends would love to see it. And why don't we treat them all to hand spas when they come in to see your bonus room? Now, again, I was the roving reporter. I gathered information. It's settled in, and I get to reuse it because she shared it with everybody or openly. So again, I think that's the way that you collect the information and you use it during your party. You know, a lot of times when you talk to your host, I never close a party without 2 bookings. And some people say, well, Kathy, how about if you don't get 2 bookings? No, I say to my host, listen, my goal is to always give you host cash. And my goal is to always have 2 bookings so you get additional host cash. So yes, I'm planning on getting on the night of your party. However, who do you know that loves the products? Who do you know that needs to hear about even our mission about ditching and switching? She knows people. She knows people that are doing gluten-free diets. She knows that. Who does she know? You've got to have that conversation with her, guys. You have got to. Now, there's a booking talk, and it is a commercial, and it really goes a little bit more detail when, again, you just say, you know, I know all of you tonight, and that's why I love the wish list. I know all of you tonight are sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, Kathy showed me so many things. I go like this. My mind is blown. I have too many stars, hearts, check marks, whatever you did on that wish list that I instructed you to do. I know your wish list, I can see it's all marked up. So I'm going to give you permission to leave a lot behind. Choose whatever you want to purchase tonight because you'll want it instantly when the products arrive, you know, when Mary gets the delivery or the delivery comes to your house. But everything else you want, don't hold off and say, I'll wait until I get the extra cash. Go ahead and get the shopping cash with Lemongrass Spa. Treat your friends to and then you talk about what your next month is. Listen, the preview of upcoming attractions is no different than when you sit in movie theater and people say, oh my gosh, Sandra Bullock just has a new movie out. Dean, we need to come. It's starting on February 3rd. I love the previews because I know what's getting me back into that theater. And you guys have got to have your previews. And that's why this marketing piece in your host sheet, this is your marketing piece. You call it back up. Say, by the way, next month, here's a preview of the upcoming attractions. When you pick one of these themes and we get on your date on your calendar, you are going to get all those items that you left behind at your party with your shopping cash. And remember, you get up to 50% items. Now, you can't do that. Well, you can do it if they're making a list, but it's harder because they don't write as fast as you talk. That's why I love my wish list. Love it. All right. So I'm going to turn it over to Hillary. Hillary, you go, girl.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. How are you? So I wanted to share, and Kathy had invited me to share, how I get some of my bookings. The majority of my bookings do come from my in-home parties. That's my golden spot. I love doing the in-home parties. I do the virtual Facebook parties, but in-homes are they're my sweet spot. Love them. So as Kathy had touched on, you want to bring this up 3 times throughout, your party, but you don't want to be pushy. So I have found the way I implement it is the first way I do this by bringing it up because my intention is for everybody there to get to have this experience with their friends afterwards. So the first part I start with is when I introduce and thank the host. I introduce myself, and then I thank the host for having me into her home. And that's when I share with everybody. This is how I met Melissa. Melissa was at another in-home party. We had met there. She had a fabulous time, really enjoyed it, and wanted to share this experience with all of you. And that's what brought us here today. And that plants that first seed. It really does plant that first seed. So that's the first way I bring it up. So then as I continue throughout my party presentation, sharing the products that I love, and that's what I do. I share the products that I love. It's not about buying. It's about, these are the wow factors of these products. These are what they can do for you. And that's, where I get the engagement from them. And I start being that rover reporter and watching. So during the presentation, my presentation, this is where I utilize a booking tree. So at my parties, and I actually have my booking tree to show you guys what I do. I found visuals work best. So I always mention this. Now this is my booking tree right here. Now I bought this cute little tree right at Walmart, 10 bucks, and I placed these cards on it with dates. And during my presentation, this is when I will say to people, and if you guys would like to share this experience with some of your friends, you're having such a fabulous time, how great would this be, to choose one of these, party theme options, which are stapled into my catalog in the centerfold. And I have some special dates. And if you choose one of my special dates, flip the card over, and you will see I have an extra reward for you for hosting the party. So for example here, this one is a free frosted cranberry gift set. So this is the second way that I always bring this up into my parties. And then the third way that I do this at in-homes is at the personalized checkout. I have learned that this is key. This is that area where we're going to discuss that wish list that they were working on. They're going to show me, their order form, and, I'm going to compliment them on all their choices. And then I'm going to say, well, these are your options for this. What would you think of doing one of these fun in-home experiences with some of your friends? And 9 times out of 10, I typically walk out with 2 to 3 bookings from every in-home party for the future. So that's my main way that I go about it at my in-home parties. So the second way that I also go about this is in my follow-up afterwards. You should have a follow-up system set in place where you're following up with all of these customers that ordered from that party. And then, so they didn't book at the party, that's okay. But it's an opportunity to bring it up again and discuss with them, you had so much fun, you had some additional items, would you like to consider? And I find that this is where I will pick up the additional 1 to 2 because they were, caught up in the moment, they were enjoying their time, with their friends, they place their order, and then they go home and they think about it. And they're like, well, geez, that was a lot of fun. They're iffy in the beginning, but then when you follow up with them, this is where you can tend to pick up a couple more. But you have to, the follow-up is very key to that. You do need to make sure you're staying in touch with these people and watch for the key words. Now is not the right time. My son is busy with soccer. A special note on that. When somebody says something like that, jot that down. Jot that down so that you can bring it up and make it a more personalized conversation because they feel like you listen to them and you acknowledge them. You don't want to be pushy about them booking a show. That's a legitimate excuse. If, they are crazy busy with sports and children, etc. Okay, now's not a great time. When does soccer end? Maybe we could talk maybe 2-3 months from now. Oh, soccer ends in September. How about I follow back with you at the end of September and we look into October? But you also have to make sure you write that down. So those are my few key points that I use on those as far as my in-home bookings. Another way that I do this is with my hosts before the party's over at the end of the night, everybody's gone. We've sat down, we've gone over everything. I recommend to her, so now our company puts out 2 catalogs a year. So would you like to get on my calendar 6 months from now, kind of like a dentist appointment, and get on my calendar for the next new catalog? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, absolutely. They want to try these new products. They want to see what the new products are. So I found I always try to schedule that 6 months out from that date. We set a tentative date and then we finalize it up as it gets closer, like a month prior is when I will reach out and say, and as I said, I'm 8 months in, so I've had 2 months now of where I'm seeing this actually, come to fruition. And it's working. People are like, oh yeah, absolutely. Everybody that I had first introduced to this and shared my love with it from our spring catalog has now done fall parties with our new fall line. And then we will get to repeat this again as we go forward. So there's a few of the ideas that I use for that. Virtual parties. Virtual parties, I tread lightly on because to do a virtual party, the host has to be capable of doing this party. She has to be active on Facebook. She has to engage. She has to partake in the whole entire process. If you have somebody that's not doing that, the party it's not going to be successful. I learned that one the hard way in the very beginning. I have heard Kathy say in the past in other trainings, you need to interview. You definitely want to do an interview with people that you're going to attempt to do a virtual online party with. Sorry about that. My phone, something popped up. I tend to use these for my customers that are out of state. I find that those work best, and I have had them be very successful. But again, just they have to be very active on Facebook. You definitely want to keep an eye on that and make sure that these are people who are going to, fulfill the shoes, to make it a success. So on that one, so after that one there, the final one that I want to touch on is the vendor events. That spa party for 6 is huge. When you're doing a vendor event, that's what you're there for. That's what you're looking for. New customers, new hosts. I have had some girls on my team express to me, I feel like I'm cheating them. I said, well, if you feel that way, then you are. I said, when you're offering this spa party for 6 drawing and you're gathering their information and you're chatting with them, you're taking notes when they walk away. I encourage everyone on my team, when somebody walks away and they filled out a slip, take those mental notes when they walk away, jot those notes down. So then when you have that follow-up conversation with them, it's a personalized conversation. Take note of, their names, their jobs, their children, etc., what they do. And you find that the more personal you are with somebody, the more likely they are, to want to work with you. They want to, as Kathy said, hire you. That really is, the key here. So I tell my girls in that case, if that's how you feel, then you need to look at it this way. This is not I'm cheating somebody. This is I am offering up an opportunity for people to win a spa party for 6 of their friends. If you feel that you're cheating, then you make it clear, okay? I will draw multiple winners to receive a spa party for 6. It's all in how you word it and how you're viewing it yourself. So those are the ones that I use. This is everything that I touch on and has what made me be successful as far as my bookings.
Yeah, and you know what? Oh my gosh, there were so many things. I wrote some notes here and I want to circle back and just mention them. Then we'll spend the rest of the time on recruiting at your parties. Yep. For the vendor event, guys, you don't have to say a drawing for a spa hour 6. You can, although there's nothing wrong with that, you can say, would you like to fill out a slip for a spa hour for 6? Yeah. So you can say, I'm offering a spa hour for 6 at today's vendor event. Would you like to be part of what we're offering today? It doesn't even have to be a raffle. Just fill it out, because if you don't give them something to show somewhat of an interest that you call them back on, you're going to be dialing for dollars and nobody's going to be interested. I don't like product raffles. I like booking raffles, but I want them to understand what that booking looks like. It looks like 5 of their friends and themselves, and you bring a dessert. A favorite dessert comes in as a result of this vendor event. That's why what I add to this special spot hour for 6. So the way you market it, you're not having to lie at all. And by the way, I never did advertisement in direct sales in magazines or anything like that. We had the option as a national executive. I had that option, but I knew no one would hire me to come into their house and even do anything because they could be hiring an axe murderer. So, you are meeting people, and that first impression, which you only get a chance to make once, is what people are hiring you, they're booking you for. And then the other thing that I want to do is listen to what she says. You're having such a fabulous time. She's acknowledging at her parties, you're having such a fabulous time. You guys are so great. I am sure every single one of you are going to get on my calendar because I want to meet all your friends. Now, again, you confirm that they're having a fabulous time. So you've got to remember when you see and experience something as a group, compliment them, shout it out, acknowledge that everybody's experiencing it. The booking tree is brilliant. And the beautiful thing about the booking tree is that she chose higher priced items. So if you are showing and passionate about those higher priced items, you can say, I think one, if not two of those cards back here is just this product. So you bring in the booking commercial with the booking tree when it's got that product that's on the card. And I love the fact that she says, I want to share an experience with all of you. Full service checkout, that's when her sweet spot, I can tell she has the most intimate conversation. When you're in a group, and we're going to talk about this in just a minute with recruiting, when you're in front of a group, it's like that announcement in the paper that somebody's getting married. You didn't get the invitation, so you're not going to be going to the wedding. They just announced an engagement, announced that somebody's getting married. So when you're talking to individuals, you are dropping these seeds. You are saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to probably find all of you on my calendar tonight. I see how you're reacting to this facial system, and I know all of you are going to want it. I did too. That's an announcement. But then when you get to the full service checkout, which we're going to do a training on, although I did one already, and I probably should just use that video. When you get to that full service checkout, that's when you say, oh my goodness, what theme are we choosing for your friends? I never asked if they're doing a booking. Because again, that's where you're one-on-one. That's when they can either say, honey, I don't do parties, and that's okay. But that's when you get to really look in their eyes, put your hand on their arm, sit there close by to them. I like my shoulders touching them. And that's when you really get to say to them personally how you felt about them, and they will tell you how they felt about you. Your compliments come during that time. And rebook your host. Oh my gosh, I never did that with Pampered Chef. Glennie started doing that, and I'm like, it is brilliant. I even have Glennie, she even books her host 2 months out, either because a new catalog's coming or because of those people that couldn't make her party. We call them leftovers. You either scrape them off the plate and put them in the garbage disposal, or you wrap them up and say, what are we going to do with these leftovers, the people that weren't attending tonight? Why don't we do this? Why don't we choose one of those themes, different for you, be different for them, and let's do another party and you pick a 2-month out time. Again, you guys have these themes here. So if you're giving that host a chance to rebook with a new theme, why wouldn't she want to? Remember, it's always a no unless you ask. Always a no. All right. Oh my gosh,
Kathy,
Hillary.
I just thought of one thing though.
Yes, go ahead.
That I meant to touch on, and I was just looking over my notes real quick. Was we had discussed that $4 shipping and how $4 shipping.
That's the whole reason this conversation came up. Go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the $4 shipping
Talk about we called it a flat rate. So talk about it in the terms that they'll understand. It's a flat rate shipping. Yes.
So for my month end for December, I had utilized the $4 flat rate shipping as an incentive. And
to get orders.
Now this is a booking tool, as long as you view it that way. So I had gained 3 parties from offering this $4 flat shipping, and I offered this to my special customers. In my customer group, this was not something I put out there to everyone. No, this was to my customers, you know, my consistent people. And with this here, this is a great way to utilize because they reach out to you and they're like, oh, this is fabulous. And then that's when I can say, well, look, you know, yes, the $4 flat shipping is great, but why not host a party? Get some of your friends together. We'll all have a great time. We'll all have fun. You're going to get free shipping. And in turn, I'll offer the $4 flat shipping to all of your party guests instead. Huge.
Yes. Yes.
3 parties off from that conversation. And that was what originally sparked this whole entire idea to be.
That's exactly what started our conversation.
Yes.
And then the other thing I said to Hillary is, at your party, you can say, you know what? I've got my booking treat here. Oh my goodness. You know, I know you're going to get some treats there, but why don't I do this? I'm going to add something else. Let's be spontaneous here. Everybody that gets a date on my calendar before you leave today for your friends, you're only going to pay $4 shipping. So you could use it as a booking tool that night at the party. Everybody that dates a party tonight before you leave. Now, if your party needs to move, I've got a pen here, a pencil here, and I always bring a pencil, guys, to my parties. And I say, for those of you that aren't sure if you need to move the date, we'll do it in pencil. It has an eraser, and we can move the date. So again, you want to make sure you answer that objection that you might be getting before it becomes an objection. I don't have my calendar with me, which is crazy because everybody has it on their iPhone, but they might have PTA things they haven't put in. But that's what you want to do, is you want to say that. I always call it brag the objection. You guys know what some of the objections are. Talk about it before they talk about it or they even think about it. And they're like, oh, yeah, because I don't have my calendar. Well, that's a good idea. She has a pencil with an eraser. Oh, my gosh, good idea. So anyway, oh my gosh, Hillary, you are a rock star. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, and by the way, guys, I'm not saying don't do games. I'm saying I don't do games. And I just, you know, here's how I feel about games. And this is why I'm really picky about games, because you want to make sure you're doing teachable moments, and the time you take to do a game could take away from the teachable moment. However, if you have a group that is a party group, you know, they do all kinds of things, you know, go out, they have bunko and things like that, then you might want to ask your upline or go to Google and find out what is the most fun game to do. But I would run it by someone before you choose it. I'm just saying, run it by somebody and say, what do you think? All right. So we're going to move on to recruiting. And you guys will see during my live time tomorrow, you will see some seeds being planted on recruiting. But I want to go over this with you guys. And I want you to think about it. What if the person that offered you this opportunity didn't offer it to you? You wouldn't be on this call tonight, or today, excuse me. So they shared it with you. You need to share it with others. You guys, I know you hear this all the time. You're like, oh my gosh, Kathy, she's so much better at it than me, because she spent time making it a skill. We weren't born as direct sellers. We weren't born to sell, to recruit, to book. It's a skill and you need to learn it. So again, I think it's really important that you understand half of the people, 50% of the people at your parties are wondering if they could do that. They're also wondering if we get paid. This is a mystery job. I mean, it's a mystery job. So again, you want to make sure you say during your time that what you use your paycheck for. That's such a recruiting seed. So what I want you guys to do, and by the way, I don't know if you guys already understand this, but direct sales, the umbrella of direct sales, if you will, you could do parties and get money that way, but the only way you're going to give yourself a raise is not to do more parties. It's to recruit, so that incremental income that comes dribbling down and flushing in and just, you know, flooding your paycheck comes from the fact that you would offer somebody the opportunity, like a Hillary, who is just rocking this. You don't know who that next Hillary is. Mm-hmm. So it's important that you understand that's the best way that you get a paycheck. And I just saw a statistic that over 25,000 women a day are signing up to do direct sales. So they're either signing up with another company or they're signing up with you. So again, just a simple line, have you ever thought about this? That's the line. Have you ever thought about this? It can change someone's life. So what you guys want to do is you want to think about what is your why? What made you decide? And it cannot be all about the products. Honestly, get that healing elements out of the picture and think about what this paycheck could do for you if it hasn't done it already, based on the stories you hear or what it does for you. And if you guys are sitting there thinking, you know what, some of this is making sense, Kathy, if you're thinking that way, I really want you to decide to set a goal. And I want your goal to be minimum, I'm going to give out 2 Think About It packets at every party. That's the goal. And you want to be looking during the connection time and during the party time, you want to be looking with recruiting eyes, because people in the room are showing you signs. They're sitting there shaking their head like this, right? They love the products. They're shaking their heads. Don't you want to sign somebody up that loves the products? Because they're going to want to take that love and share it with others. They're not going to want to keep it to themselves as a personal user. They're going to want to share it. And then people talk a ton. I mean, you have some past hosts and customers in your virtual parties and in your in-home parties. Have them, give them the compliment. You know so much, you love it. Have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about this? And by the way, we talk about hosts all the time. They are your best team members. They're the ones that if they get outside orders, you know how I feel about $200 in outside orders, you give your half commission away to them. You want to say, do you know how much you would have made as a consultant on these outside orders? Tell her it was $50. I mean, gosh, $50, that's a pair of shoes for her. It may be something that she was saving and the $50 caps it for her, right? So again, make sure this is a mystery job. Make sure you tell them what you make as a consultant. And then the other thing is, again, when we're back connecting with people, you'll hear somebody say, you know, I lost my job, my husband lost my job, my husband's no longer left, you know, they can't do, you know, overtime, etc. Some people will come up to you and say, I'm sorry, I can't buy anything. Instead of saying, why don't you book a party, say, listen, I have an answer to your situation. Have you ever thought about this? I would love to chat with you more. I mean, that's not being pushy. That is offering a gift. It is a gift. So again, and I talked about the lady that has the baby vomit on her shoulder, and that's a little extreme, but you will know somebody, you'll hear that she just got out of the house. Listen, when I worked full time and I had my husband traveled, I had a 3- and 5-year-old at home, you have no idea how much I brag to everybody that I've got a babysitter doing the homework. I've got a babysitter doing the baths. I've got a babysitter. I am here. Listen, I'm here having fun. And I love to share them with that because you have somebody sitting there that needs that night out. So again, how about if somebody's lingering when you're packing up and they're asking you questions? Listen, they don't want to know about you. They're not asking you how many parties you do, what do you get with your kit. You want to say, oh my gosh, you are asking some great questions. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? I think you'd love it. How natural is that? So let's talk about the seeds on the cards, because again, you want to make sure you put seeds on cards and you plant those cards strategically. And you want to say something like, I love this job. I can't believe I get paid for doing it. That's a seed, because people think you get, and then share what you use your last paycheck for. Or if you didn't use your last paycheck for anything, or maybe this is your first paycheck, make sure you attach it to somebody that did use a paycheck for something. Ask your leader in your team page, what do you use your paychecks for, right? Listen, when they hear that you get paid for fun, they are thinking they want to escape the chaos of their life also. I used to say when my kids got older, Dean walked in the door, I walked out the door, I said the kids have a ton of homework, and Kelsey needs a project that she has to make a volcano, need to scoot, see you later, sweetie. And I said, listen, I get to leave the homework behind. Mary, thank you very much. And Mary is my host. These are the kind of things you guys really want to come alive, and they're normal things. And then if you're earning the trip, for those of you leaders that are you got to brag about that trip. You've got to say, in next month, I'm leaving for wherever you're going, the Dominican Republic, courtesy of the Pampered Chef. Oh, no, sorry, Lemongrass Spa. I did too many trips with Pampered Chef. None with Lemongrass Spa. So again, tell them, listen to this, guys. tell them if this is how, or what, if this is how you intend, or you are making your car payment. Tell them that. If this is how you're making a private school payment, or you're working to make a private school payment, tell them that. Is this how, with your husband's getting laid off, it's not jolting your family? Tell them that. You need to tell them this is what got you through whatever journey you are taking. Whatever your why is, you've got to tell them, because someone in that room is sitting there connecting with you thinking, Hillary, you just gave me an answer to my life struggle. And that's why it's so important that we don't talk about a personal discount, a $25. You want to change and help somebody's life struggle. Again, that's your story. That's your seeds, excuse me. And then you tell your story. And the story needs to come later on when they have unfolded their arms, when they started to connect with you, when they're starting to look at their friends and say, oh my gosh, are you having a great time? I am too. That's when you want to open that heart, which is yours, and you want to be able to make that connection. And you want to say, listen, and I wrote this down because I wanted you guys to listen to it and to be able to write it, and you may have to listen back. You want to say this, listen, give me just a few minutes more of your time. If you guys have watched this and you're blown away by our products, or you've heard what I talked about with this opportunity, and you just want to know a little bit more about it, guys, this has changed my life and changed my family's life in ways that you wouldn't even believe. And seriously, no pressure. I'll just make sure that I offer each of you a Think About It packet when you come up to let me help you with your order, and we'll set up some time to chat. That is the way that you end, and the way that you do your commercial, and the way you open up your heart and allow everybody to take an opportunity to walk into it. If you believe this opportunity is the best ever, if you do, and you find your why, then get passionate about it. Everyone in this world needs encouragement. And I believe when we offer it and say, have you ever thought about it? You'd be great at it. You'd have fun at it. That's the words of encouragement they may not have heard for a while, that day or that even week. Remember, they are thinking, could I do this? You tell them why you would be great at it. So I'm going to finish with that. Is there anything you wanted to add for that recruiting thing, Hillary?
No, I think you pretty much covered all the bases. That's exactly how I approach it. That is exactly how I
Great.
approach it. I will say, and I did notice this, and it's something I took notes on myself, is the wording of Think About It packet. That really stands out for me. I have always labeled mine Take a Look, and I think I'm going to switch them. I think I like Think About It better. It just pulls that pressure off.
Well, you know what the other thing is, Hillary, and everybody else on this call, those listening, when you create a cute little packet that's got a Take 5 candy bar, and you say, now I purposely chose this Take 5 candy bar because when I give you the information tonight, or it's going to be for you or someone else, I don't know, but I'm going to offer it to each and every one of you, and you can take 5 minutes to look it over, and maybe it's not for you, but you will know as you take 5 minutes to look it over who it's for, and it will resonate with you. There will be someone in your life, if it's not you, that will need to take that 5 minutes themselves and take a closer look. So again, I think the think about it is how you think about offering it to other people. I think that those word choices are every bit as much about what you're extending an offer to and expecting and wanting them to do, which is think about it. They do not have to marry us. They're simply going on a date. That's how I think about it. And I think it's important that if you settle in with that heart, you will then ask everybody if they want to think about it, because you're not asking them to join. You're asking them simply to take a closer look, take 5 minutes, and think about what this might do for you, or for someone else, or for both of you. have a friend join together. So do you notice all of a sudden there's a lot of connecting conversations that could take place with the think about and what you put on here, whether it's a payday or a take 5. I think it's strategically, you know, what you choose because of what you want to say, because of how you feel. Oh, Amanda says this has been a very thought-provoking call. Looking forward to the party training tomorrow as well. I am very nervous, Amanda. I have to tell you, I had sleepless night last night thinking about me having to go live with you guys tomorrow. So in no way do I want you to think it's going to be perfect. It's just going to be a general overview of what I do, because I do things differently based on who is in the audience and how they connect with me and how much fun. So I hope it doesn't come across dry because I don't have an audience, but you will get the gist of how I start, how I connect, how I use the materials, the Blackboard, the products, etc. So anyway, I am nervous. I'll be very honest, but I will push that nervousness aside because I love you guys so much, and I want to do whatever will help you have just the best business ever in 2018. All right, any other questions? Let's see, and then we're going to scoot. Kim said previews, great visual. Definitely. Preview of what's coming. And you might even say at your party, how many of you go to the movie theater and say what's coming up? Well, you're going to be knowing what's coming up here next month because you won't want to miss out and you won't want your friends not to have the experience. Do you notice I'm always talking about their friends? Because women will do anything as long as they've got friends in the same room. And that's why, and that's one thing I want to say about the virtual parties. I don't offer virtual parties at my in-home parties. If they say no to a in-home party, then I offer them a catalog experience to share with their coworker friends, and I ask if they work outside the home. I can't interview someone at an in-home party at my full service checkout to see if they're active on Facebook. Not at all. I get my Facebook parties from Facebook friends and engagements that I make on Facebook. So, yeah. All right. Jessica likes the not a game girl either. Good. Perfect. Stephanie says, yep, no games. Nope. Stephanie, it's really about what you're passionate about and how exciting. If you never tried a game, try it. Do it as an in-home party yourself. Do your own mystery host party. Say, I'm going to do some practicing. Come on over. I'm going to do a mystery host and practice a game there. But know that the first time you do it, you might feel a little bit awkward. But if you love it so much that you want to try it again, I'd say try it again. Yeah, perfect. All right. So I think, let me see. Okay, perfect. I think we're done. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time with me. And Hillary, girl, listen, drinks are on me at leadership.
All right.
At the leadership retreat, drinks are on me.
I'm excited. I can't wait to go.
Yeah, and listen, you are going to just be a sponge. Yeah, be a sponge. So,
absolutely.
Yep. All right, guys, keep the chatter going in this event, and we'll answer your questions. And once this gets downloaded and I do closed caption, I'll bring it back in. This is in the event. I actually recorded this in the event, so I need to take it over to the community group. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow will be my live class. And then on Saturday, I think we're going to have to do a fifth. Well, I'll think about it. I've got a full service checkout video. We'll just do the full service checkout video because that's fresh and it's and you guys, I'll plug that in after tomorrow. So anyway, love you guys. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye. Thanks again, Hillary, so much.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.